Kia ora, welcome to Canterbury Live on the 4th of July. A very special day indeed if you are American. It's Independence Day, commonly known, of course, as the 4th of July, a federal holiday in the United States commemorating the adoption of the Declaration of Independence, declaring independence from the Kingdom of Great Britain. It's commonly associated with fireworks, parades, barbecues, baseball games, speeches, etc., but it is the National Day of the United States. Now a very special American, there he is, Mr. Barry White. And we'll take it down a tone. He died today in 2003. He was an American composer and singer-songwriter, a 3-time Grammy Award winner, known for his distinctive bass voice and romantic image. White was overweight for most of his adult life. In 2002, he was hospitalised with kidney failure and high blood pressure. While undergoing dialysis and awaiting a kidney transplant in 2003, he suffered a severe stroke which forced him to retire. At around 9:30 on the morning of the 4th of July 2003, 29 years to the date that he married his wife, Claudine. His ashes were scattered by his family off the California coast, and check this out.
No, babe. Oh, my darling, I can't get enough of your love, babe. Girl, I don't know why. Can't get enough of your love, babe. Oh, some things I can't get used to, no matter how I try. It's like the more you give, the more I want. And baby, that's no lie. Oh, no, babe. Tell me, what can I say? What am I gonna do? How should I feel when everything is you? What kind of love is this?
Oh yeah, we're grooving in the Canterbury Live studio right now. Coming up on today's show, we're talking to the Neurological Foundation. We have Mark from Stable Pharmacy, Lisa caught up with him, and Rob's Country, a sneak peek. But first up, it is the time when we are picking the schools for our children, high school matriculate today, Burnside. This is a great choice, and you may recognise one of the old boys of the school.
I'm Andy Ellis. I went to Burnside High School. Rugby at the school was really on the way up. The teams are going really well and there's a great culture here. There's not a better time to come and hang out in Christchurch and Canterbury. The city's really on the up and everyone's having a good time. I was really lucky to have Warwick Taylor as a coach when I was at Burnside High School. Being an ex-All Black, all the kids really loved it, and it's awesome to see him still putting a lot back into the team now. So I'm sure all the young fellas that are involved in rugby here now were just as stoked as what I was when I was here.
My name's John Haggett and I work for the Canterbury Rugby Union. I run the International High Performance Program there, and we offer opportunities for young people outside of high school to come to New Zealand and learn a little bit about what we do at the Canterbury Crusaders rugby program.
Pretty much for the international kids that they have, there's about 4 sessions of straight out skill sessions, defence, attack, decision making, those sort of activities. Weights room, they're in here for 3 hours really a week. There's also a core stability session that they have. They also do English programs for those who English is their second language, so they'll spend a lot of time learning English. They could spend up to 9 hours in that program.
It's great because you get to know different cultures, and you also can go out for, go to the shopping mall, cinema. It's very nice. People are very friendly here.
The duration, of course, is about 22 weeks. That's the full program. I think next year starts on the 23rd of March and goes through to the 23rd of August. And they can come in on a short program, which is, if it's about 3 weeks or more, they can come in and join in, which we have got a few coming through at the moment.
I like the international program. I like meeting people from different countries, and we all kind of intermix and everything. So I just like being around different kinds of people. Like, it's very interracial, I guess.
Bom, as sessions têm ajudado a gente bastante aqui. Esse programa nos ajuda em diversas coisas, principalmente no passe, no contato, bastante na corrida. A gente tem muitos treinos de cardio e isso é muito importante para o jogador de rugby. Bom, o programa tem me ajudado muito. Eu acho que eu estou muito melhor desde quando eu cheguei aqui. Eu tenho jogado rugby de alto nível todos os finais de semana. E isso tem sido muito importante.
Cruz really just sold this dummy and it was just too easy, wasn't it? And Matthias Cruz scores Burnside's second try of the afternoon and
he
good
stepped
way.
onto his right foot, didn't he, and just went through.
Bom, eu recomendo o Burnside High School, o programa do Burnside High School para os estrangeiros, porque aqui eles têm uma atenção especial e todos aqueles que querem um alto nível de rugby, todos aqueles que querem melhorar o seu rugby deviam estar aqui.
日本にいる時よりも個人個人で課題を多く出してもらえるので自分自身の課題がより多く見つかって毎日充実した日々を過ごしています。ラグビーの、ラグビー力アップというのも一つですが、やっぱりこのプログラムはやっぱりとても充実した日々を送れる。そこっていうのはやっぱり周りの文化の違う人たちとよく絡めたり喋れたりすることがとても嬉しいです。いいと思います。日本と違って、一人一人が持つ、個性を生かせるので、ここはとても楽しくて充実しています。
So we took it right back to the beginning for them, looking at the fundamental contact skills and make sure they got a firm grounding there and really the fundamentals of what's important in the New Zealand game to make them understand that, and then from there we can grow the detail of their knowledge of the skills.
Well, I hope so that they'll go on and possibly play international rugby. That's the guys and the girls. We've got a few girls here as well who've got potential to go on. The Sevens program, Rio, in a few years' time. Hopefully we'll get to see a few of those students going through and going on to that. But mainly it's to get them to increase their ability in rugby and their potential, to fulfil their potential really, and have the opportunity to learn a little bit about New Zealand culture and pretty much for these children here is the rugby as well.
How fantastic, what a beautiful school. Make sure you make contact if you think that your child could actually really fit in at Burnside High School. Well, stay with us after the break. We talk with the Neurological Foundation.
Al Jazeera News, international news right off the satellite, bringing you up-to-the-minute coverage of world events. Al Jazeera News, weekday mornings at 6 o'clock, right here on CTV.
Blackwells has a proud history presenting leading vehicle brands, extensive backup and service for a total one-stop driving experience. Holden, Mazda and HSV new and used vehicle sales, servicing, parts, paint and panel, Isuzu truck sales and service, all together in one convenient location. More selection, more value, more quality and more reasons to make Blackwells your number one choice. Visit Blackwells today, corner Waterloo Racecourse Road, Sockburn, or online at blackwells.co.nz.
Christchurch has its very own enchanted utopia, the Hitching Post. Pop in and see for yourself. A magical assortment of handmade creations, custom-made candles and artwork. Choose from our huge range of water features, garden art and imported giftware. Specialists in handcrafted metal artwork made in store. Nestled on 722 Marshlands Road. The Hitching Post, defining art our way.
Come in and meet the locals at the Bush Inn Centre. Whether it's to grab a coffee on the go or to catch up with a friend over lunch or dinner, the Bush Inn Centre is the perfect place. With our unique range of shops, you'll find everything you're looking for and more. Our friendly locals are always happy to help. We have plenty of parking at the Bush Inn Centre, making your shopping experience just a little bit easier. So come in, meet the locals and shop Bush Inn. You'll find us on the corner of Riccarton and Waimari Roads.
Arts 21 showcases the vast creative talent and minds that are making a name for themselves in Europe and beyond. Think outside the square with Arts 21.
Please give generously to the Neurological Foundation Annual Appeal so our researchers can focus on finding cures, not finding money. Check your mailbox for the appeal envelope.
And make sure you check your letterbox. Shouldn't they, Cecilia?
Yes, they certainly should.
Welcome to Canterbury Live today. Now, you have a very important role, the community liaison. Very busy time of year for you.
It certainly is, yes. It's our annual appeal week, yes, which started on Sunday and goes through till tomorrow.
How long have you been involved with the foundation?
I've actually worked for the foundation almost 20 years. It'll be my anniversary in October. Yes, and I've worked part-time all that time. At one point I was actually travelling all over the South Island visiting people who actually support us, and they've just been gorgeous people that have donated and contributed for many years. So we really appreciate that from all the public.
You must have seen a lot of things over 20 years evolve, really.
I have. I've seen researchers be young students. I think of John Fink, who's a local neurologist, and he got a fellowship from us which enabled him to go and study stroke overseas and then come back to Christchurch with all that expertise, and was a leading part in setting up the stroke unit here at Christchurch Hospital. So, you know, the Neurological Foundation's been behind that and behind him for many years. And then also Professor Alan Barber, who's our first Professor of Neurology in Auckland, and he also has studied stroke. We gave him a fellowship, and he was actually a student here in Christchurch many years ago.
Right.
And then now he's our leading professor up in Auckland for neurology.
Is it the danger that we have so many fantastic people here in New Zealand that they can actually go overseas though and we lose them? Is there a danger in that?
Yes, it does happen. And the beauty of it is just a few years ago the Neurological Foundation set up a repatriation fellowship which enables them to come back to New Zealand. And yes, all our young ones go offshore, you know, they've got to get that training and expertise, and it does open doors for them because they then relate and mix with other fellow like-minded scientists, and they can collaborate with teams all over the world. And they will still collaborate with their fellow doctors and researchers here in New Zealand, but we do bring them back and we do get them back.
Well, let's talk about the foundation and what it actually does in the community.
Yes, well, what it was set up to do was to fund research. There's so many neurological conditions, about 1,100 or over 1,100. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, all sorts of dementias, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, migraine. There's just a few. And it was important to have more research happening in that field. And back in 1971, the Multiple Sclerosis Society and Epilepsy Association got together and decided that they actually really needed to have research happening more to benefit not only them but the other neurological conditions, and that's why we were set up.
Fantastic.
And lots of fellow like-minded professors, doctors, neurologists, researchers from all over the country got together, and we've been going 43 years.
Yep. So what disorders does the foundation research then, specifically? You touched on a couple.
Yes. Well, what happens is that the researchers come to us and ask us for funding in their particular field. So it'll be something like MRI scanning for Parkinson's disease. We've got that happening here in Christchurch at the moment with Dr. Tracy Meltzer at the Centre for Brain Research here in Christchurch. So he would put down in paper exactly what he hopes to achieve through his project, comes to us for funding, and then it goes before a committee. Twice a year our scientific committee meet, and they decide whether it's good sound science or a good medical possibility procedure, if there's going to be benefit to the community, because that's paramount, but it has to be good sound science, and then they will say yay or nay, and our board will get together, our National Council, and decide who will get the funds.
Right. So how much funding research is from donations and bequests?
Well, everything comes from the public. We don't have any government input at all, and last year I think was about 2.4 million came in. So that is in donations. Then we will get bequests over and above that, and bequests, legacies, things like that are put into a fund, and we have a really good capital base, which means because it's been built on a foundation, that money will always be there accruing interest. So we have, greater pool there, just when times are a bit tight. So generally, the money that comes in from donations, that goes straight to the researchers.
How do you make a decision of who gets what, though?
It's tricky.
Yeah.
It's really hard because everybody should be supported, and yes, it can only go so far. We're hoping to have a budget for $3 million coming up, which is amazing to have. And it is a hard decision, but there has to be a cut-off point, and I've seen in 20 years how many projects have come in, and certainly there has to be a point. 7 might get through depending on how much money they require. It might be several $100,000 to some of them, and then there can be small project grants as well. But then 20 might get a grant if they're all just a small amount of money. So it just depends. But we try to give an increase every year.
Right.
And as long as it's good, sound science.
Cecilia, what would you like people to know about the foundation? What do you think is the main goal, really, at the end of the day?
Well, to make sure that the public is benefited and that they don't suffer from some of these terrible diseases and illnesses, and especially their loved ones. To see somebody with dementia or with Huntington's disease, for example, or motor neurone disease, we need to find cures. We really need to alleviate the suffering and to help find cures and educate more and more health professionals to become neurologists, neurosurgeons, so we can help treat these lovely people.
And you're hopeful for the future?
Oh, very much. Yes, I've certainly seen things improve over the years. One of our lovely Dr. John Simcock, who's our medical advisor in Auckland, he said in 40 years, the last 10 years of him practising neurology, he's just seen a huge increase, especially in technology. We can actually see what's going on in the brain now. It's
Isn't
amazing.
that fantastic?
Just wonderful.
Right. Thank you so much, Cecilia, for making an effort to come in. You're doing a wonderful thing. 20 years, you are an angel. Oh. Stay with us after the break. We have Mark and Lisa in Staywell Pharmacy.
Come on down to Ferrymead Golf. Care for a game of paintball? How about some swings on the old driving range? Or on our par 3 9-hole golf course? Test your skills on the mini golf course or have a go at the airgun shooting range. Then relax at the Wow Cafe with one of our super succulent Wow Burgers. Whether you want to perfect your swing or are looking for a fun family day out, come down to Ferrymead Golf, 50 Ferrymead Park Drive, right next to the Ferrymead Heritage Park.
Welcome to Caltex Redwood. We're a family-owned business proudly supporting our local community. We're open 24/7 for fuel and shop goods, and we have an amazing team of people ready to help you. Save at least 6 cents per litre using AA Smart Fuel cards. We also offer great value on our LPG bottle fills. We have a full workshop and Bridgestone Tyre Centre. Our mechanics and tyre technicians will get your car sorted. Caltex Redwood. We're just down from St Bede's on Main North Road. Caltex Redwood. What drives you?
Hi, I'm Mark and welcome to Staywell Pharmacy. Whatever the season, Staywell Pharmacy has you covered. As an integrated pharmacy, we stock all the well-known pharmacy medicines, as well as quality nutritional and herbal treatments. Our team of pharmacists and full-time naturopath are here to help you find the products and advice to suit the needs of you and your family. So come in and see us at Staywell Pharmacy, 27 Shands Road in Hornby. Staywell Pharmacy, live well, stay well.
For some of us, every day is a struggle with some pain, whether it be a foot, a neck, a back. But Mark is here now from Staywell Pharmacy to talk with Lisa about some options that we have for you.
Hello, joining me today is Mark from Staywell Pharmacy. How are you?
Well, Lisa, thank you.
That's good. Now, I see you've got a lot of things that you've brought in.
Just a smattering of bits and pieces. I want to talk about pain, which is probably something that's close to everybody's heart.
Definitely.
And of course, pain's a symptom of something going wrong in the body. Sometimes we listen to that and sometimes we don't. And one of the most frustrating things, I think, for a lot of people is that they aren't given all the options that are available to help treat their pain. They might already be taking the likes of here, we've got our paracetamol, Panadol, Nurofen, Voltaren. Obviously, you can get the rubs as well, which if it's for a surface painful condition, or if you want something more internal, then you're going to take the tablets. But these things have side effects. Chiefly, the main one can be an upset stomach. And what's most frustrating for people is to say, well, look, you're already on your Nurofen and your Panadol and maybe your codeine or your morphine or whatever, and that's all we can give you. There's no other things we can use. Actually, from a pharmaceutical point of view, that's not necessarily true, but also from a natural point of view, that's not normally true. One of the things most people should be making sure, provided the medicine's safe for them to take, is taking Panadol regularly every day. Panadol's got a unique property in that it seems to make other painkillers last longer.
Oh,
and
wow.
in fact, there's some advertising at the moment on where it's making other items like decongestants for nasal congestion last longer. They don't still understand why that is, but if you're not taking Panadol regularly every day and you have a chronic pain condition, that's something that you should discuss with your pharmacist or your doctor. But other things that you can be using, which we've got at the other end of the table. So a lot of people are familiar with glucosamine and chondroitin. So these are actually providing supportive nutritional measures to help rebuild the cartilage and the other parts in the joints. And the fish oil, which is of course a great anti-inflammatory, it's brilliant for all sorts of things. One, we should all be on omega-3. But some of the other things that people may not be aware of are things like magnesium. So magnesium is used in 300 reactions in the body, but it's brilliant for pain. We use that a lot for migraines, we use it for neuralgias, it's useful for helping sleep. And if you get the right magnesium, you don't get any of the diarrhea problems you can get from some poor quality magnesium products.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We've even got the topical, so this is an oil that you can place on the skin. So if people don't feel like swallowing yet another tablet, they've got that, they can apply it to that area, and we've got it in powders and other formulations. Not sure if many people know, but at the age of 39, I was diagnosed with needing a double hip replacement. I have osteoporosis of the hips with almost no cartilage. That was 6 years ago. And one of the things that I use, or amongst them, are turmeric and boswellia. So turmeric, people might be familiar with as the cooking spice, or cumin is the other one. Now, if you go to your supermarket, you're not going to get enough of the active ingredient called curcumin available. But using things like boswellia or turmeric, they not only kill pain, but because they're also antioxidant, they're doing other things in the body. And what we really need to appreciate, Lisa, is that if inflammation is ongoing and chronic and it's not being damped down, that's stimulating the potential for other diseases, autoimmune diseases. It can increase the risk of cancer, those sorts of things. But ultimately, we're not enjoying life. And life with pain, particularly chronic pain, is really unpleasant. I've tried to cover the topic of pain in a very short period of time. So obviously, you know, if you do want to come and see us at Stay Well, because if you're on other medication, you've got some queries about what's right for you, then come and see us down at Stay Well.
Absolutely, you're always happy to talk to people there. That's Mark from Stay Well Pharmacy, 27 Shands Road, Hornby. Give them a call on 0508 Stay Well. Thanks, Mark.
Mark is definitely the man you want to speak to. Make sure you go down and see the team. Well, tonight, 6 o'clock, Carolyn Ha will be shaving off her hair for cancer. We shall be here on Monday to share it with her. All the best to you, Carolyn. You're a wonderful, wonderful angel. Now we have Rob's Country.
For us ourselves, the season starts on the 1st of June and finishes on the 31st of May. And irrespective, we'll grow the same amount of grass. It's a matter of utilising all our resources and what have you. We always have plenty of supplements on hand for the fact that we can actually cover it. We just don't dry cows off. We try and complete seasons. So we just look at the season. Now, if we finish up having a good grass growing season, we use less supplement. That means that there's more supplement for the following year, or we purchase less. We started out just feeding out maize silage. We then went to using that resource better, just with a feed out wagon, to what we do now is it's a compound food for us now. There's maize silage, there's palm kernel, there's molasses going into it. We use minerals all the year round. There's a percentage of hay in that diet and what have you, with the mixer wagon and the water and all the rest of it. It's a real complex food now. We get better utilisation out of it, and we certainly get far better productive results out of it.
Is the feed pad partly because of the shape of the property and it's a long way to the far side?
That was a real contributor to that decision, with 2.2 6, our longest walk, it was very...
and that's each way?
Yeah, that's each way. So, you know, sometimes those cows they're doing a few marathons. But it was a good way of actually, the cows lose energy and lose production walking. So it was another way of stimulating them with more food, but also giving them a break before milking and all the rest of it. We use it twice a day, so the cows are getting a good feed, that we can maintain their body weights far better, the cow condition, the productive ability has certainly increased. Our cows always had the potential, and this is one way of getting closer to that potential. Things that I can see balance playing a big part in is probably like some of the things we've done, soil testing every paddock, know what needs to go onto the paddock, so you're monitoring your resources and your costs closer, getting the results of those grasses and whatever, things like herbage tests and whatever are an important part. Effluent, of course, is going to be a huge challenge. The farms, if you go back 30 years ago, the soil was like blotting paper and it needed humus and it needed nutrients and whatever. That tank is now topped up. So going forward, you know, how the fertiliser, the effluent plays a part in maintaining that balance and what have you, so our responsibility to the environment. And I think the other part that's really, really important is that we've bred very, very good cows. The only thing we have to do is get the potential, and I think there's a lot of potential still left on a lot of farms, and food quality plays a very big part in that. Some of the development with seals, with calf meal and what have you, and I know some of the trials that have gone on, that if you're looking at competitive pricing and all the rest of it, it's quite easy to take a cheaper option. But from the results that are coming back that have been done in trials and what have you, seals calf feed is far superior. Now that is really, really important because growth rates and all the rest of it and what have you. So basically results for your money spent.